Hi, my name is Yasmin and I will be leading you through this video about understanding the changes to Google product search in the UK, France, Japan, and Germany. If you submit your feed to any of these countries, the changes outlined in this video apply to you. For German merchants, we also offer this video in German. If you submit your video to the US, please refer to respective video for the changes in the US. This video is part of a threefold learning path. Understanding changes to Google product search is the first part of this learning series, followed by a video on how to provide high-quality data and a video on troubleshooting tools. In this video, we'll go through why we are introducing changes, followed by an overview of the actual changes. We also explain what happens if you don't comply and how you will be alerted of this. So, why are we introducing new data feed requirements and policies? This year, nearly 179 million consumers will research products online. Some 83% of them will make an online purchase. We from Google Product Search want to ensure that shoppers are getting the rich, detailed information they're looking for. And this has great implications for you, our merchants, as we want to deliver even more valuable and qualified traffic to you. To meet these goals, we're asking merchants to provide richer product data and are introducing new policies. So what's actually changing? Here you see a snapshot of the current feed spec. Up until now, we ask you to submit basic product data such as title, description, the URL, and so on. We ask for shipping data since recently also for unique IDs. We also had a whole lot of recommended and optional attributes that, however, have not been required. Now we have 5 new attributes plus some more sub-attributes. Product images specifying product availability, the new Google product category, 5 new apparel attributes, and product variants. We will begin enforcing these changes starting 22nd of September. Note, these changes only apply to Google Product Search and will not affect your product ads and commerce search if you participate in them. You now have to submit at least one image link per item you submit. Images have to be of high quality. For apparel, we require a minimum of 250 x 250 pixels. However, we do recommend images of 400 x 400 pixel. You now can also submit more images using the additional image link attribute. If you have no image for your item, you cannot submit it. You cannot submit thumbnail versions of the images or versions with a water sign or logo instead. Item availability is a really important and critical attribute as it ties into our new policy in regards to the freshness of your data. The availability of your items can change quite frequently, and you need to make sure Google is notified of these changes as they happen. We will regularly check these attributes, and if the values provided do not match the data you submit in your feed, your account will be suspended. So for availability, we have 4 predefined values, and you have to submit one of the 4 values for every item you submit. Please note that in this case, shipping in 3 business days or less means that you are able to get the product ready to ship and leave your warehouse within 3 days. It does not mean that the actual shipping process takes 3 days. Another important note is that the quantity attribute, which lets you specify out-of-stock items, will be retired. From now on, please use the availability attribute to specify an out-of-stock item. The Google product category attribute is a completely new attribute. This attribute contains the category of the product according to Google's product taxonomy. You have to use this attribute to categorize products falling under the categories apparel and accessories, media, and video game software. You submit 1 value per item. It is required to submit one of these 7 values per item. These are the very minimum values according to our taxonomy that you need to submit. Recommended, however, is to submit the fuller path of your categories, meaning the most granular value according to our taxonomy. The Google product taxonomy is a tree of categories that classifies product families. At the highest level, it is arranged into a few verticals, which refer to broad categories of products. The children of these broad product families are more specific product categories or more specific products that fall under the high-level vertical. So basically, it works like a drill down, as in this category, encompasses the smaller set. You can browse the taxonomy by expanding the trees with these little buttons. Clicking on a label will place its full name into the box so that it can be copied and pasted. You can also download the taxonomy in a spreadsheet. Google Product Category and Product Type both serve to categorize and classify your products using Google's taxonomy. Google Product Category is Google's categorization of the item. Product Type instead is your categorization of the item. Product Category is required and has to use only one of the predefined values. Product Type is not required but strongly recommended. Product Type enables you to categorize your item using your own values or by extending the taxonomy according to your own taste and understanding. You can submit up to 10 values per item. So basically, make sure to use the product category attribute if you sell items falling under the free outline categories, apparel and accessories, media, or video game software. In addition, and for all other categories, use the product type attribute and apply categories freely as you wish. Let's move on to apparel. Many of you provided the feedback that it can be challenging to display and describe your apparel items the way you would like to. And we listened. It is now possible to display your apparel items using 5 additional attributes. Here again, we apply the taxonomy and the so-called breadcrumb approach. For all apparel products, irrespective of their child or subcategory, you need to supply the brand unless the item is custom-made. Recommended are the attributes age group, gender, and color. For shoes and clothing, you should submit data about size, so the client knows which size the item is available in. For age group and gender, you need to use Google's predefined values that are male and female, as well as adult and kids. For color and size, you can provide your own specification. So here you see the data you can submit for apparel items. Apart from brand, these are not required for feeds targeting the UK, Germany, Japan, or France, but only for feeds targeting the US. However, we strongly recommend to use these attributes. You will soon see examples of how apparel will be showcased in product search in the future. For us to showcase your apparel items in a more visual way, we obviously need to have appropriate data, so make use of the new attributes. So what do you do if your item is available in several sizes? Well, many merchants have given us the feedback in the past that there was no ideal way to handle such cases, also because of our policy in regards to not submitting duplicate items. And we've heard you, and therefore introduced the new product variance attributes. We all know that one item can vary. We have identified the most common values of variations, which you now can specify using the following attributes if your item varies by any combination of color, size, material, or pattern. In addition to specifying these attributes, you have to combine the variant combinations under one item group ID. So basically, instead of one item, you are submitting several items, which are all variations of this one item. For us to understand that these are all variations of the same item, you need to submit the same item group ID for all of these variations. Important is also that every variant combination should have a separate image. You submit this via the image link. Providing variants is not limited to only apparel. You can provide variants for other products as well. Just think about how nowadays digital cameras or notebooks often come in different colors from pink to blue. Let's give you an example using apparel. One of the categories where using variants would be most common. You have one apparel item, red high heels. You do have different variants of this item, so you do submit each variant as a single item. As a reminder, for us to understand that this is not a simple apparel product, but in fact a variant of one and the same apparel product, you have to create an item group ID under which you combine all the variants of one item. This will enable us to display your apparel items in a new way. So variant items 1 to 3 share the same item group ID. For each variant, you now provide the variant attributes. The shoes are all red, so we submit red as color variant. They do come in 2 sizes though, in 4 and 5. In size 4, since this is a very popular size, the merchant offers the shoe in 2 different materials. If you wear a size 4, you can purchase the shoe in leather or faux leather. The pattern for both materials is suede. Don't forget you need to submit an additional image for each variant item you submit, if it makes sense obviously. In our example, variant items 1 and 3 only differ in size. For different sizes, you obviously don't need to submit different images, as we wouldn't be able to see the difference in a picture. For variant item 2, you do need to submit a different image. Also, it is possible to submit different prices, descriptions, titles, and so on for each item. The full leather shoe would be cheaper than the real leather shoe. Using the variant attributes, you now have been able to submit the red high heels 3 times without submitting any duplicate items. Your potential clients will now be able to see directly which shoe fits and is according to their preferences. And one more example. As said, you have to submit 1 item per variant combination. Let's say this bag comes in 3 colors and 2 sizes, meaning you have to submit 1 item for every single combination. Travel size in brown, shopper size in brown, travel size in black, and so on. You simply multiply this and easily see that you have to submit 6 variants of this item. What if you don't have images for your variants? In this case, you only submit 1 item. However, several values can be submitted for 1 variant attribute, separated by a comma. You can therefore still use the variant attributes, but simply submit several values per attribute. As you are just submitting 1 item, obviously leave out the item group ID. It doesn't make sense to submit it. This is an alternative that only applies to the UK, Germany, France, and Japan. Merchants targeting the US cannot make use of this alternative and have to submit variants item by item. And that's it in regards to the changes to the feed spec requirements. Let's quickly recap. You see here a snapshot of the new feed specifications. There is the basic product information, which consists of 9 attributes, including our new product category attribute. Then we have availability and price, which are highly critical in regards to our new policy, which I'll outline in just a minute. There are of course unique IDs, which you all should be submitting by now, and then there is shipping. These are the required attributes and product information. We have 5 new apparel attributes which are recommended to implement if applicable. And we have recommended additional attributes to describe different variants of the same product. And then lastly, we have additional attributes that are optional if you like to limit delivery destinations, want to set an expiration date, or are participating in the Nearby Stores program. So how to implement all these attributes into a real feed? Let's look at this example. All start attributes are required. You see, we chose the same example as for apparel before, red high heels. Providing information on title, description, link ID, and condition works as usual. Then there is price, the new availability, image link, which is required now, as well as shipping. We provide all 3 values for unique product identifiers, even though for apparel, only providing brand is required. We are submitting both Google product category and product type. You see, Google product category shows the most granular value I could find for the item in our taxonomy. Product type uses the merchant's very own categorization. In the next line, I provide data on apparel, and you see this is a variant item with an item group ID. Lastly, I am also providing a sale price. The attributes with our shopping logo are the new or newly required ones. We are not just making changes to our feed spec requirements, we are also introducing new policies. As you just learned, we require more data now and have an increased focus on data quality. Your data in your feed therefore has to match the data on your landing page, and that at all times. That means your account will be suspended from product search if some required attributes aren't present in your feed and/or your product data doesn't match the data on your landing pages. That means, and this is important to understand, that if you submit a compliant feed with all the right attributes, but the data you provide doesn't match the data on your product pages, your account may still get disapproved. Let's look at an example. You may wonder that not all the data you submit in your feed will be visible on your landing page, and it actually doesn't have to. We will have our checks in place to make sure all data that you submit is accurate. So what means data in feed must match data on landing page? In this example, we provide following data in our feed. The landing page of our item looks like the following. You see the usual data that is present on any landing page, like price, availability, shipping cost, and it becomes clear that the item is new. This data has, at all times, to be the same as in the feed. We also require you to submit the right prices. New is that the price in your feed has to be the most prominent price on your landing page. What means most prominent? If you have several prices on your landing page, make sure that the price you also submit in your feed is highlighted on your landing page, for example in red or bolded, so it is the most prominent one. Also, if you sell bulk quantities, you obviously have to submit the price of the lowest purchasable number of items. Let's say you sell a package of 10 pens and you can only buy them as a package. Obviously, you have to submit the price for a package and not the broken down price for a single pen. Basically, you need to ensure that the most prominent price on your page is the price you submit in your feed, and that this is the price that every customer who finds your site via product search would pay in the end. Considering the new data freshness requirement, if you have to, how can you submit data more than once daily? You can submit feeds via FTP, by manually uploading them into your account, or by writing a script to push the feed to the Merchant Center simultaneously while updating your product data on your website. Or you use the Content API for shopping, with which you programmatically manage your product data real time and programmatically also can manage your client accounts. You can find extensive information on these two options in the Help Center. We strictly enforce these requirements starting September 22nd. After the first violation, your account will be suspended until it complies with the policies. After the second violation, your account is suspended for at least a week, and after the third violation, your account will be suspended for at least 1 month. So, how will you be alerted when you don't comply? 1 week before a potential suspension, you will see an error message on the Dashboard tab. You will also receive a warning email to your account's technical contact email, so make sure this is updated under Settings General. Then you'll have 1 week to resolve the issues and avoid suspension. At this time, there is no need to alert Google of changes to trigger any re-evaluation. So imagine your account has been suspended. You see the alert under your dashboard and now have fixed the issue. You then navigate to your Merchant Center account's Data Quality tab and click on the I Fixed All Issues button. This will notify us here at Google and we will re-evaluate the account. Let's recap. Your products are live on product search. If there is a critical error, there will be a 7-day warning period during which your products will still be live in product search. If you fix the errors within 7 days, you go back to normal. If the critical errors are not fixed, then your products are suspended on product search. For the first time, they are suspended until you fix them. The second time, they are suspended until you fix them plus a 7-day penalty period, and the third time around, the penalty period raises to 30 days. Obviously, if your errors are fixed, you go back to normal. Let's finish off with a few recommendations. You've learned that the Data Quality tab is crucial to identify possible issues. Check this tab every time you log on. Also subscribe to our Commerce blog to stay on top of all announcements, tips, and tricks in the world of commerce. Use a valid technical contact address, as this is the address where we alert you of any issues. And of course, the Help Center is our most important resource where you can find all the information you need. You can also continue our learning path with 2 more videos on how to provide high-quality data and tips around troubleshooting tools in your account.